Hi guys, Geecher64 here, and today we're talking about the physical media releases for the month of April in the year 2025. This is the new release wall. We won't be talking about every single movie released here in April, so if there's something that I did not mention in this video, please continue that conversation in the comment section below. And if you are new here, the way I do these videos is I split it into 4 sections. We will talk about the new releases first, the new movies that are releasing. Then we'll talk about the Steelbooks. And we'll talk about the older movies getting releases on Blu-ray and 4K, and then we'll talk about TV and box sets. So that's how we do it here. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. All right, first up, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This is the 4K option. It is dual pack with a Blu-ray, got a digital code. I have not seen any of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but I know a lot of people speak highly of it. At least people who watch them seem to like them. So maybe eventually I'll get around to watching it. But normally I would show you the Blu-ray and then the 4K. The reason I'm only showing you the 4K here is because there is no Blu-ray option at all. This is a Paramount release. Paramount is not offering a basic Blu-ray anymore. The only way to buy the Blu-ray is to buy the 4K, which is dual packed with the Blu-ray. I previously did a video last week called Media on Shifting Sands, and I really detailed how all these studios are releasing things very differently than what I've seen years prior, and really what the state of physical media is in 2025. I will link that video in the description, and I'll have a link at the end of this video, but that goes into a little bit more detail. But again, no basic Blu-ray option for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, just the 4K. And then we've got Mufasa the Lion King from Disney. This one is dual packed with the Blu-ray and DVD. Kind of the opposite of what Paramount's doing. Disney's not offering you a basic 4K option. You can get the 4K on a Steelbook, which we'll talk about when we get to the Steelbook section, but there's no basic 4K. You just have the Blu-ray release for this one. I'm not big on the Disney live action movies. I will have to give at least some props to Mufasa the Lion King. At least it's not adapting a previous story. It's telling a new story. So I will at least have to give it that, but it's not something I'm really interested in. Like I said, I don't really care about the Disney live action remakes, but the Blu-ray option is going to be available. We'll talk about the 4K when we get to the Steelbook section, since Disney isn't giving you a basic 4K anymore. Next up, we've got Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg, which is getting a Blu-ray release. It is dual packed. I heard this is like a really mediocre to bad TV movie from the people who've actually seen it. And so I don't know, maybe this is like something that I could passively put on Netflix on streaming and check out. But that one is coming out. It's on Blu-ray as well as a 4K. They are both dual packed. So that is nice to see. This is from Lionsgate, I believe, is putting this one out. Next up, we've got A Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan biopic movie by James Mangold. I like a lot of James Mangold's stuff. He's done a lot of movies I really dig, like Logan, Ford v Ferrari. He did Walk the Line, another biopic with Johnny Cash. So I was looking forward to this one. I have seen it. I really liked it. Honestly, the only James Mangold movie that I could think that I disliked was the Indiana Jones movie that he did, but I digress. Complete Unknown is worth a watch. I like some of the theming in it. Some of the performances were good, and it was very atmospheric for the time, so I really dug it. There's a Blu-ray as well as a 4K option, so always nice to see both of those. Next up is My Hero Academia, Your Next, an anime movie. Now, I actually own all the other previous 3 movies. I believe this is the 4th movie. I don't think I'm missing one. I actually do like My Hero Academia. I wouldn't consider myself a super anime fan, but I did really get into this show, and I've enjoyed the movies, so I am looking forward to checking this one out. I've actually already pre-ordered it, so this is definitely a pickup for me, but this one has a Blu-ray option. We've also got Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League. So Batman Ninja was a previous DC animated movie that was put out, and this is the sequel. And I did not expect to see a sequel to Batman Ninja. It's a Batman anime, essentially. So the trailer for this one is out if you want to go check it out and see if it's up your league. Pun intended, I suppose. But this one has a Blu-ray option. It's not dual packed, but a Blu-ray option, as well as a 4K option. Warner Brothers, their thing is they don't dual pack. So that's the reason they aren't dual packing here. But you do have a Blu-ray and a 4K option for that one. We've also got Dogman coming out. I know some people who are fans of the comics of Dog Man. I mean, it's kind of for kids. I would say it's for kids. It's not something I'm necessarily interested in, but again, definitely has an audience. It is getting a Blu-ray release, but there's no 4K for this one. Next up, we've got Paddington in Peru. Again, this one's not dual pack. What's interesting about this one, at least as of filming this video, this may change afterward, but as of filming this video, the Blu-ray option is the only one that's available in North America, but it looks like the 4K is going to be available in the UK. So, again, that may change by the time this releases or after I film this video, but as of right now, that's kind of the case, and I have seen things like this happen in the past, and Paddington being, I mean, it's pretty... I would say it's more popular in the UK than it is here, but it definitely has an audience here, and there are people who like that movie. But I don't know why you would release it just in the UK and not in North America. But as of right now, that's kind of the case for this one. We've also got the Companion, or Companion. It's not The Companion. Drop the. It's got a Blu-ray release. The premise for this movie seemed pretty interesting, although I have heard that it's kind of a little bit of a mixed bag. It's a little bit of a sci-fi. I don't really want to describe the movie because I think it kind of ruins it. It's almost like if you don't know anything about it and you wanted to watch it, maybe that's a better way to go into it. But regardless, there is a Blu-ray option for that one, as well as a 4K option. Again, I believe this is a Warner Brothers release, so that's the reason it is not dual-packed. We've also got Last Breath coming out on Blu-ray. This one I am kind of interested in. The premise seems pretty straightforward, but these are the types of movies that I like. It's like loosely based on a true story of survival. I like man versus nature style stories. There's not a whole lot of them. And so I am looking forward to this one. It's not dual packed, and you are not getting a 4K option with this one. We've also got Love Me coming out, which has Kristen Stewart and Steven Yeun. And I watched the trailer for this, and the premise is a lot better than what the trailer looked. The trailer made me not interested, to be honest. It did the opposite job of what a trailer should do. It's basically about two robots, I guess post-humanity, and they find love somehow in it. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the trailer. But that one is coming out. It's got a Blu-ray, but no 4K for that one. We've also got Love Hurts. So we went from Love Me to Love Hurts. And this one has Short Round and Data from the Goonies. I know he was also in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which kind of gave his acting career a little bit of a boost. Although I have not really heard anything positive about this movie, which is kind of disappointing. I hope that he gets some more acting roles and maybe gets in a little bit of a better movie. But again, I haven't seen it, so I can't say one way or the other. It's just based on what I've heard. And that one has a Blu-ray option as well as a 4K option. The 4K option is dual packed. We've also got Heart Eyes. So we went from Love Me to Love Hurts to Heart Eyes. Interesting. Anyway, this is a horror movie. That's really all I know about it. I believe it's a slasher movie, and it has a Blu-ray release. No 4K for that one. We've also got a comedy called One of Them Days. This is with Keke Palmer. I heard this could be compared to Friday. So, that one is coming out on Blu-ray if you guys are interested in that one. We've also got Nora getting a Criterion release. I believe it's got a Blu-ray option as well as a 4K option for the Criterion release. This is the Best Picture winner. I don't really have interest in this one. I personally don't place any stock in the Oscars. I just don't care about them.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here. Nobody cares.
But it doesn't really matter if I'm interested in it. It matters if you are interested in it, because I will talk about all of the releases regardless of my personal interest in them. So that one is coming out if you guys are interested in it. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the Steelbook section. So the first Steelbook we've got is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Steelbook. As I said earlier, there's no basic Blu-ray option. You do have a 4K option as well as the Steelbook 4K option. And this one is available at Target, Walmart, and Amazon. It's available at retailers. I believe some of them have already sold out on pre-orders, but I would expect this might show up at Walmart. But that's what this one looks like. And it's got a companion, which is Shadow. And I do see some people trying to get both of these. This is an Amazon exclusive, and it sold out pretty fast. I think they were charging like $40-something for it. I personally have a rule: if a Steelbook's over $40, I almost never buy it. I trying to think. I don't remember the last time I paid more than $40 for a Steelbook, but a lot of people did, and because the pre-order is sold out. And it is cool to have these two companion pieces if you're a Sonic fan. So, again, maybe they'll get some more in stock, but it's been sold out for a couple weeks now because I've been looking into it. But I don't know. Just keep your eye out. Sometimes the pre-orders will come back in and get some more in stock. We've also got Mufasa, the 4K option. As I said earlier in this video, Mufasa has a Blu-ray option. There's no basic 4K, so the only way to get the 4K is to buy the premium Steelbook. I believe this is up for pre-order for like $44, $45. Again, I think that's overpriced. That's just me personally. But if you want the 4K, they basically are forcing you into buying the premium option. And so that's what that Steelbook looks like. We've also got Flight Risk coming out. And it is funny because I actually saw in the trailer, they actually ruined something from the trailer. I don't know if I should. It's not really a plot point. It's just kind of amusing. I'm just going to call it out. So with this, when the Steelbook was announced, I was like, this is a Lionsgate Steelbook. Lionsgate's known for having a slip cover that is removable that kind of changes the look of the Steelbook. So with this one, I thought it was funny. I was like, I saw this and I saw him with his hat on. I was like, I hope when he takes his hat off, you see that he's bald. And that's exactly what they did. I don't know if they released this at the same time, but I remember I mentioned it when they first dropped it. And a couple days later, I did see that they actually have a removable hat to have him be bald. Kind of a little amusing thing in the movie. And it was in the trailer as well. So they kind of ruined it. They probably should have saved that for the movie. I don't think it really matters. But anyway, and Flight Risk is an Amazon exclusive release. One thing I have noticed more recently with Lionsgate is that they are really leaning into the Amazon exclusive. They have their own Lionsgate Limited line that they are selling through their own website, but their mass-produced stuff, they seem to be going through Amazon. So I did not address it in last week's video, and maybe I should just do a separate Lionsgate video to talk about it. But yeah, this is apparently an Amazon exclusive, and then you've got plain 4K coming out, and this one is also an Amazon exclusive. I actually heard some pretty decent things about this. It's kind of like a fun, kind of disposable action movie, and but I have not gotten around to checking it out. So if you guys like plain, if you guys have watched it, comment and let me know if you think it's worth a watch. And what do you think about the Steelbook? I think it looks kind of cool. But that one is coming out on 4K. We've also got the Clint Eastwood. There's 3 4K Steelbooks that they're putting out this month. I did a whole separate video talking about it, going into more depth on the specs, the special features, and the art and everything in that video. So I'll briefly cover it here. First up, we've got the Dirty Harry 4K Steelbook. Again, it's not dual packed because it's a Warner Brothers release. We've also got Pale Rider, which I really do like this Steelbook as well. And then we've also got the Outlaw Josey Wales, which is my personal favorite out of the 3. I actually have all 3 of these movies. They were part of the Clint Eastwood Blu-ray collection. So, but I do still want to upgrade at least Outlaw Josey Wales because, again, that's my favorite out of the 3. And I like the way the Steelbook looks. But those are coming out. Again, I go more into depth in another video. We've also got Tombstone coming to 4K for the first time. A great looking Steelbook. One that I was looking forward to when I saw that this was coming out. However, it is $56, which is absolutely insane. Now, this one's being put out by Disney, so it's not surprising that it's the highest priced Steelbook that you're going to get because they put out the highest priced Steelbooks. Now, it was briefly on Target for $42. Those pre-orders sold out within a couple days. Me personally, I don't think I've ever paid more than $40 for a Steelbook. That's my personal rule. It's hard for me to justify to myself paying more than $40 for a Steelbook for a single movie when I can take that $40 and start expanding my collection and buy like 5, 6, 7, 8 movies with it. So some people may be saying, well, the price is $56, but it was on Target for $42. So the price may drop from $56 closer to $42 if you go and pre-order it now, because Amazon does price drops. However, the problem with that is that people also said that about Deadpool and Wolverine, which was $66 all the way through release. It never dropped. It only started to drop well after the release had happened. So if you did pre-order that, you ended up paying $66 for that Steelbook on release. And Tombstone is put out by Disney. So there you go. You got a 1-to-1 comparison there with Tombstone and Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'd be surprised if the price does drop. If it does drop, it's not going to drop down to below $40. And there's no basic 4K option, so the only way to get it is to get this Steelbook if you want Tombstone on 4K. Which brings me to another movie, which is Stripes, another movie I was looking forward to when I saw this was coming out. I thought the Steelbook looked great. I don't own Stripes, and I was like, this is definitely something I want to pick up. First time on 4K, cool looking Steelbook. $49 for this one. That's right, $49. You may think, well, is this Disney putting this out? Well, it's actually Sony putting this out. And Sony is handling Disney's physical media. They're handling the marketing and the distribution. So they're kind of intertwined. So it seems like Sony's taking a page from Disney's book and releasing Steelbook only options and hiking the price up to $50. I mean, that's just crazy to me. We've also got Gandhi, which is getting a really cool looking Steelbook coming to 4K individually for the first time. It was actually released on 4K as part of the Columbia Classics Volume 1 collection, which I have on the shelf behind me. And all those 4Ks look good, so I can vouch that Gandhi's 4K looks good. However, the problem is it's also $49. It's being put out by Sony as well. It's got the Columbia marker, but Columbia is owned by Sony. So you've got all three of these very, very high price Steelbooks with Gandhi and Stripes at $49 and Tombstone at $56. And is it possible that some of these prices may drop a little bit prior to release? Sure.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
In my opinion, when an older movie is getting a new 4K release, the idea that it is vastly more expensive than new release movies getting 4K Steelbook releases, I think that's crazy. I don't really know what they expect out of this. I think that they are pricing a lot of collectors out of the market with these price points. Let's go ahead and move on to Renfield, which is also getting a Steelbook release. This is a Walmart exclusive. It's coming to 4K for the first time. I believe this released 2 years ago, or yeah, I think I want to say it's 2 years ago. This was the Nicolas Cage vampire movie. Also had Nicholas Hoult. I actually heard it was pretty good, at least the parts with Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. However, I did hear that half the movie has Awkwafina, who I can't stand. So that's the reason I haven't gotten around to seeing this. But it's coming to 4K for the first time. A pretty cool looking Steelbook. I do dig the look of the Steelbook. But that one is coming out. We've also got Lethal Weapon getting a 4K Steelbook. Again, this one is not dual packed. Because it is being put out by Warner Brothers. It's kind of a minimalist approach here on the Steelbook. Not necessarily my taste for this type of movie. I think this is a little too simplistic, but that one is coming out. That is an option there. We've also got Detective Pikachu getting a 4K Steelbook release. I already own the movie on 4K, and I thought it was actually a pretty solid video game movie. Like, if you're putting it in the video game movie category, Detective Pikachu was kind of fun. And so, it's interesting it's getting a Steelbook. It had an original Steelbook when it first released, so this is a brand new Steelbook for this movie. We also got King of New York. Now, this is a Lionsgate limited release, so you can only get it through their website. Lionsgate has been instituting this idea of doing Lionsgate limited stuff through their website. They still do some Lionsgate releases as Amazon exclusives, so that's kind of where they're at right now and their releasing of older movies. And King of New York is coming out. They're asking $35 for it, which is still a little bit high, but certainly more reasonable than what Disney and Sony is doing. However, you do have to tack on shipping and tax to that price. So by that point, I think it's $6 for shipping, if I recall correctly. So by the time you do that, you are paying over $40 for the Steelbook. They only offer free shipping on orders over $100, I believe. So But that one is coming out if you guys are interested. And another Lionsgate Limited coming out through their website is Basic Instinct. Now, this one I just saw right before filming this, and they're also asking $35 for it. This is on 4K. I always say Lionsgate does some of the best steelbooks. They've been some of the best steelbooks in the game since the beginning, but I do personally have some mixed thoughts on the Lionsgate Limited releases. But anyway, Basic Instinct is also coming out, if you're interested, through the Lionsgate Limited website. We've also got Summer Wars coming out. Never heard of this one. It is a, looks like some kind of anime. Again, I'm not very familiar with this one, but it is having an Amazon exclusive release. Next, we've got a Full Metal Jacket with a cool looking steelbook. This is actually a re-release of a Best Buy exclusive from like 2020 or 2021 that sold out. So I always like seeing some of these steelbooks getting re-releases. Some collectors don't like it because they view it as devaluing the steelbooks they have in their set. But I like having re-releases, so people who missed it the first time around have the opportunity to get it. I've already got a 4K, a Full Metal Jacket, so it's probably not one I'm going to pick up because I've already got it. But there is that one. And then the last steelbook we've got, no, it's Star Trek Section 31. I don't want to talk about this.
No! The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I absolutely despise this movie. As a Star Trek fan, I despise this movie. This is not Star Trek. It's some kind of dark, futuristic, dystopian thing. It's not Star Trek. It's not even Section 31 as shown in Deep Space Nine, in which it's a very secret organization shown by one person. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent because I could spend the rest of this video saying everything I don't like about Section 31. But you may say, well, why do you cover it if you don't like it? As I said earlier, the new release wall is for everyone. It doesn't matter if I don't like it. It matters if you like it. And so I'm going to showcase the options that are available for you. And this is getting a steelbook release. If you are interested in it, that option is available. Now we'll move into the older movies getting releases here. We'll look at the basic releases for Dirty Harry, basic 4K option there. You've also got Pale Rider with a basic 4K option, and you've got Outlaw Josey Wales with a basic 4K option. Again, I go into more detail on my thoughts on this, but they at least are uniform, I guess. I think that they're pretty boring. But those options are available, and I like the fact that you get an option. The 4K Steelbook's not the only option. It's always nice to have basic 4Ks for people who don't care about the Steelbooks and want to get a little bit of a cheaper option. They don't want to pay the premium option. So those are getting basic 4Ks. They're not dual packed at all. As I said, they're being put out by Warner Brothers, and they do not dual pack. Well, we've also got Renfield 4K. This is the basic 4K. So I guess this confirms what I said earlier. I didn't need to put a note below. It is coming to 4K for the first time. So it only had a Blu-ray release initially. And so there's a basic 4K as well as the Steelbook, which I believe I said was a Walmart exclusive. Yeah, the Steelbook's a Walmart exclusive, but the basic 4K is out there. We've also got The Informant coming to 4K for the first time. This is an older movie. This came out when I worked at Blockbuster. That's how old this movie is. But it's coming to 4K for the first time. We've also got The Hunt coming to 4K for the first time. This was like a kind of a controversial movie whenever it first released. It only came out on Blu-ray. I haven't seen it. I'm not really interested in it personally, but it is coming to 4K for the first time. Some of the people who actually watched the movie did seem to, say it was okay, but again, I don't know. We've also got Time Cop coming to 4K for the first time as well. It is dual packed with a Blu-ray with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Next up, we've got Batman Ninja, which is coming to 4K for the first time. I mentioned earlier in the video that Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League is coming out. That's a new release. So they're re-releasing the first one with a 4K upgrade. I actually already have the Steelbook here, which is actually a pretty nice looking Steelbook for this one. This is for Batman Ninja. We've also got Sneakers coming out. This one is from Kino Lorber on 4K. We've also got Career Opportunities. I haven't seen either of these movies. John Hughes put this movie out, and it's got Jennifer Connelly in it. So I don't know. Maybe something that I would be kind of interested in, but I don't know if I'd blind buy it here from Kino. And then we've also got Foul Play from Kino with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase. And I believe all of the three of these are coming to 4K for the first time. We've got another Kino here, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Another one I believe is coming to 4K for the first time, and I have not seen this one either. We've also got two John Wayne movies coming out from Kino as well. We've got Sands of Iwo Jima on 4K, and then we've also got Donovan's Reef on 4K. So a really big month for Kino, a lot of stuff coming out. Moving on to some Arrow stuff, we've got The Long Kiss Goodnight, and then some Criterion stuff. We've got Yugetsu. I think I'm saying that right. Apparently, this is a movie from 1953. I know I'm very uncultured. I don't know about this movie, but that one's coming out from Criterion. We've also got the Chungking Express. This one's from 1994. Another Criterion movie, and Some Like It Hot on 4K from Criterion as well. And this one I have seen and do know about, so I guess I'm not as uncultured as I thought. I'm just partially uncultured.
You uncultured swine!
But that kind of wraps up the older section. Let's go ahead and move into the TV and box set options. First thing I want to talk about is Superman and Lois. It is getting a complete series Blu-ray. All 4 seasons are coming out. This show was a big surprise from beginning to end. I pretty much liked it. 3rd season was a little bit too slow. You know, the 1st season is probably still the best, although I will say that the final episode of this show is like one of the best final episodes I've seen in a while. It wrapped up things pretty nicely, and as a big Superman fan, I was pretty happy with this series, and I would recommend checking it out. It is far better than anything the CW has done in over a decade. It's not even close. But that one is coming out, the complete series. I think they're asking $70, which isn't too bad for 4 seasons. You can buy season 4 by itself as well if you've been collecting the seasons individually. It will have a single release as well. So if you're new or you've been collecting either one, you'll have those options. So we've also got Kamen Rider trilogy coming out. This is all 3 movies from 1992 to 1994. I'm not very familiar with this. I know what Kamen Rider is, but I've never watched these movies. But that one is coming out. We've also got Wacky Races from the Warner Archive. This is the complete series on Blu-ray. The DVD was released a while ago, I know, because I actually have it. I couldn't find it to showcase here, but growing up, I really liked watching reruns of Wacky Races on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. And so I bought the DVD, and yeah, it's kind of nice to see it's getting a Blu-ray release with Dick Dastardly and Mutt Lee. I love his little laugh. We also got Captain Planet and the Planeteers, the complete series, coming to Blu-ray. Again, Captain Planet was one of those cartoons I watched, growing up, so kind of cool to see that. It's another one that I believe already has the DVD. Complete series has already been out there, so interesting. It's getting a Blu-ray here, if it actually does happen. We've also got Icons on Earth, James Bond, which is a 6-part documentary series. A lot of these Icons on Earth docuseries have been getting physical media releases. I'm a big documentary guy, so it is nice to see these getting physical releases. We've also got Mayfair Witches Season 2 coming out. Not very familiar with this one, but that one is coming out on Blu-ray. And then the last thing we'll talk about today is the Rick and Morty, the anime, which I've heard pretty terrible things about. And I did watch the first episode, and I thought it was pretty bad. I did like the first few seasons of Rick and Morty. I think I stopped watching in season 5, so I know it's still going on. But those earlier seasons were pretty fun, pretty funny. But the anime was... I did not like it. I thought it was pretty terrible, to be honest. But maybe it gets better. I only watched the first episode. But that one is getting a Blu-ray release. So that wraps up the new release 12 for April 2025. Let me know what you're looking forward to most this month in the comments section below. I was going to share my top 5, but I think I might just try and do a YouTube short where I share my top 5, because I'm still undecided right now on what my top 5 choices are for the month, because there's some pretty good options this month, I think. But I want to thank everybody for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geetrue64, and I'll always tell you the truth.